Okay. Yep. Good evening or late afternoon, evening. You'll decide whether it's afternoon or evening, but good to see you. This is the meeting of the Joint Standards Committee here on Tuesday, the 12th of November. Welcome to those that are also watching online. I'd just like to begin, before I go to item 1 on the agenda, I'd just like to begin by welcoming our newest member to this committee, Parish Councillor Diane Breen. Diane, if you'd just like to introduce yourself and give us a little bit of background, that would be really helpful.
Yes, my name's Diane Breen. I'm chair of Hunterston Parish Council, have been a parish councillor now for 25 years plus. I've always had a great interest in what occurs at Joint Standards, and I have had the privilege of coming in and addressing the council about issues that parish councils are having. So I'm very much looking forward to working with everybody, and thanks for your warm welcome.
Good. Thank you very much. And it's good to have a full complement of parish councillors as well. In terms of apologies, I do have apologies from Parish Councillor Mark Wardby, and I also have apologies from Joe Lee, who's one of our independent persons. Apart from that, we have a full complement this afternoon. So coming on to the agenda, item number 2 is declaration of interests. Anybody got any declaration of interests? Councillor Fisher.
Technically, since Mark is Councillor Warby is the vice chair, shouldn't we elect a vice chair, or do we feel it's not necessary? I think technically we should, but
I think technically we should, but I have no intention of absenting myself for the next half an hour. So, and there's nothing on the agenda that I need to declare. But thank you for kind of bringing that to our attention. I think you're right. Technically, we should, but I think we'll dispense with that on this occasion. But thank you for bringing that to our attention. Yeah. Sorry. Does anybody have anything to declare? No. I can't see any hands there, which is good. That brings us on to item number 3 on the agenda: exclusion of press and public. That will be for us to receive the monitoring officer's report that is currently on the salmon papers, the private papers. So we would need the press and public to be excluded for that. So can I just have a show of hands that we're happy for that to? Yep, lovely. Thank you very much. I am going to just change the agenda slightly in that what we will do is I'm going to put the review of work plan after the monitoring officer's report, simply that we can then go into a private session. There may be something from the report that we then feel we need to add to the work plan. I don't necessarily want to have to go back into a public forum for us to do that. So with your permission, I'd like to move item number 7 and 8 and just swap them around. Can I get your approval for that, members? Thank you very much. If we can just note that. Thank you. The minutes, item number 4 on the agenda, the minutes of the meeting on the 17th of September. If we can just, anybody got any comments? Everyone happy for that to be an accurate record? Yep, lovely. We'll get those signed off. Thank you very much. Item number 5 is urgent business. I've not received any items of urgent business. So that's item number 5 dealt with. Item number 6, public participation. I'd like to say there are a queue of public participants out of the door, but sadly I can't. There are no public participants this afternoon. So that's that item taken care of. Which then brings us to our next item, which is item number 8, which is the monitoring officer's report received. So if I can, just for those of you that are new around the table, in your agenda you'll have 2 reports. You'll have the public report and the private report. private report is on salmon papers. Can I just reiterate, please can you ensure that the salmon papers are covered up whilst we're in public view? As soon as we go into private session, you can reveal those like a magician reveals the rabbit, and we can have a discussion there. But in the meantime, if you could just keep those covered up. And Francis, if you'd like to take us through the public report on where we are with complaints.
Thank you, Chair. Not a very long or particularly detailed report. And not a long report is often a good thing. It's showing us that we're not receiving an enormous volume of complaints. All will be evaluated in the round for the year when it comes to the annual report. But it looks likely from the monitoring reports we've been seeing that we may have a lower figure on the annual report at the end of the year. On this report, there are...
Yeah, sorry, one moment. We had somebody walking in. They've obviously walked out realising that it was probably the wrong room or the wrong committee to go in. So sorry, Francis, if you want to continue.
Yeah, so there are two cases still open, one in fact to be dealt with today, later on this evening, and two cases closed. The two closed cases, one was dealt with by way of an informal resolution. In fact, sorry, both cases which were closed by way of an informal resolution, and the other matters are matters the committee are aware of. I can't name any names in the public session, and they will be shared with members.
Yeah. Okay. So do any members have any questions that you can ask in the public domain for clarification or anything that anybody needs to know? No. Okay. Thank you for that. So in record time, I make that 8 minutes. We're now at the point of going into a private session. So those of you that have been watching, thank you very much. I'm sure you have been riveted by our deliberations this afternoon, but we are going to end the recording and the webcast. Richard.